Hello, welcome to my channel. I actually got a delivery today. I've been really looking forward to doing this. This is a first on my channel where I actually buy a bike and then I'm going to test it and I'm going to compare it to other bikes that I have, in this case a fat bike. The reason I'm doing this is because of what I saw posted on a Facebook group about somebody linking this bike, and then I kind of criticized it some and a bunch of other people criticized it, and I'll explain to you a little bit about why something like this gets some criticism from us. It's not really to say that people shouldn't buy bikes like this. It's more about, I want people to know what they're getting into. So that's why I decided to just purchase this bike and really talk about, like, if somebody buys this bike, what are they getting into? If you're new to mountain biking, new to fat biking, whatever, what exactly are you getting into when you buy, in this case, like a $400 some bike versus what a lot of us ride, which are more in the over $1,000 category, $1,500, sometimes $2,000, sometimes $3,000, and there's even bikes out there that are like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Like, I think, you know, that's a really high price for people. Like, once you start getting over $1,000, people are like, whoa, like, is that really necessary? Well, it isn't necessary, but there is a reason why, you know, myself or other people buy bikes in that higher category. And so we'll talk a bit about that as I go through this. This first video is just going to be the unboxing, but I wanted to introduce what this is all about. And so what I have here is actually this bike from Costco called Northrock, and it is a fat bike. And I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this and just give a preliminary view. We see a bunch of like well-known name brands on here. It says right here, manufactured by Giant. Well, Giant's a well-known manufacturer, so that's a plus, right? Tektro, well, we know Tektro makes good brakes. Velo, I'm assuming that's a seat maybe. KMC, they make chains and stuff. And then Shimano Equipped. Well, Shimano Equipped can mean some things. Maybe it couldn't, because Shimano makes stuff for bikes that are sold in department stores all the way on up to electronic shifting, crazy, like super high-end stuff. So we'll see what that means when we get into this. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing and get at least the first kind of experience of what this is all about. And then I'm going up to Cuyuna this weekend, so I actually won't be putting this together and riding it until probably next week, but at least we can get this whole process started and get this video going. Let's unbox it. All right, let's do this. I have to say, I do like the Hero 9 because of the front camera here, and I can kind of see that I'm in view and everything, which is kind of cool. Couldn't really see that before. So, got the seat packaged up. We just want to pull this out of the box. Everything's all like bound together, so I have to take it out in one swoop. There we go. Get the box out of here. So if you don't know already, whenever you get a bike in the box, this is how it comes. It comes partially assembled. So you don't have to put everything together, but you do have to put the front wheel on, generally the handlebars, put the brake levers on, hook everything up, or the brake levers already going into the bars. Oh, they might already be all mounted on there, so cables might be all hooked up, but they'll need some adjustments and stuff like that. So not a lot to assemble, but still quite a bit. I'm gonna go grab my little cutters cut this all up and just get a preliminary look at everything. Weight-wise, actually, I mean, it's heavy, but it doesn't feel as heavy as I expected it to be, so that's a plus. And then next week when I get to riding and everything, we'll measure things and see what the upgradability potential of this bike is too. So let's get to it. So while I'm taking all this apart, one thing I do want to mention is I'm saving the box for this bike because when I'm done with all of this in this review, I'm giving this bike away on my channel. So maybe you could be one of the lucky ones. We'll find out. Rubber band, I think I'm just gonna cut that thing. I don't waste my time. There's the front wheel reflector. First thing, remove all the reflectors. Plus, of course, you're going to commute with it and you want cars. I wish that this would just pull on one of these ends and come apart, but that does not look like the case. So. The grips look like they're going for comfort, but certainly not the style of grips I like. But we'll talk about that. All right. There are the handlebars. So this is how a bike comes out of the box. If you order it, if you don't know what you're doing, you want to take it to a bike shop and have them build it out for you. For people who really care about like scratches on their frames and stuff like that, you might want to keep some of the wrapping on while you're building it. I actually just take all the wrapping off and build it, and I'm pretty careful with the frame, but that is an option. So I can already tell this has got some pretty low grade plastic stuff here, and looking at the Altus derailleur, it's only a 7-speed. The range here doesn't look like very much, so I can already see the drivetrain is going to probably be the #1 complaint about this bike, but everything else seems to be pretty decent. Like, I mean, the tires, they're kind of cool looking, things like that. So weight isn't terrible, and I guess when I talk about upgradability, if this uses standard bottom bracket widths, European threaded bottom bracket, and all this stuff is pretty standard. I'm curious to know what the width is back here, but if it is 190, that would be ideal. Then this bike instantly becomes completely upgradable, which would be really cool if that's the case. So let's keep going. Comes with a kickstand. Well, that's not going on there. All right. I'm going to say that is unpacked enough. I'll worry about that wrap up there. Kind of want to get it standing up. So the next thing I want to look at that I can just immediately view is kind of the quality of some of these components. So I'm looking at the stem. The stem actually looks pretty good. I mean, what you'd find on a normal stock, you know, kind of lower end, mid-range mountain bike. Curious to know if these bearings are sealed or not, but it does look like a tapered head tube, which is a good sign there, especially in the upgradable category. And pretty decent looking seat clamp, and the weld, well, we already know it's made by Giant, so we can pretty much assume that it's probably pretty well built frame wise. Like the welds are going to be well done and stuff like that. So yeah, so far pretty good. Tektro mechanical brakes, they're okay. I've actually had some Tektro mechanical brakes on some bikes that come stock, and it's probably one of the first things I replace because they work, but they don't work that great. Not compared to either higher end mechanical brakes or hydraulic brakes. So cool. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna say, at least my opinion right now, is this is better than I had expected. So some of the people in the chat that were kind of defending this bike, I think they have some legitimacy in defending it, especially if they do upgrade the drivetrain, because I think that right off the bat is going to be the biggest issue with this bike, but everything else looks pretty solid. Cool. More updates on this. I can't wait to get it together, start riding it. I'll talk a little bit about my fat bike, what makes it a much more expensive fat bike versus this, and why this would only cost you $400 some, $429 or something. I think I paid for it from Costco. Yeah, pretty cool. Please like and subscribe. Peace.